Our next inductee was a 1977 graduate and a three-sport letterman. Doug Cline earned 7 varsity letters combined in football, basketball, and baseball. A team leader in numerous categories in both offensive and defensive sides of the ball, Doug received WOL and area honors in football. His basketball skills, playing for head coach Norm Ashworth, who Norm is here today, earned him additional league honors. Doug also captained the team and was a leader in points scored and rebounding in his senior year. Doug's baseball team, who was managed by Coach Volley Roddy, and Coach Volley Roddy is here today, captured 2 district titles and a regional championship. We welcome Doug Cline to the Beaver Creek Athletic Hall of Fame.
Good afternoon. I know my daughters are in shock because they see their dad up on the screen in those hot pants. I'm telling you, that's what we all wore. Voted against me. A wise man once said that speeches should be like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to keep everyone interested. So I'm going to try and abide by that today. First and foremost and always, I thank my Lord and my Savior for all the blessings in my life, and I give all the glory to Him. Those of you who know me and know my story know that I am lucky to be here today. Some 5 years ago, I suffered a nearly fatal heart attack and that probably should have ended my life. Thanks to my heroic surgeons and God's unending grace and love, my life was spared, and I'm here to celebrate today. I share my testimony with you to assure you that God does indeed perform miracles every day, and that He will never give you more than you can handle. I'm a living example of that for each and every one of you. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee and the entire Hall of Fame organization for this honor and for maintaining this operation that recognizes former athletes and coaches and serves as a goal for future athletes at BHS. I also congratulate all of my fellow inductees on their recognition. I am honored to be included in such a prestigious group. I do have one regret today. I wish that my mother and father, Harold and Norma Cline, who both passed away recently, could be here to share this day. When Rex Warner called me to tell me that I was being inducted in the Hall of Fame, my physical reaction was to pick up the phone to call Dad, but I obviously realized there wouldn't be an answer on that other line. My dad probably hit me 1,000 ground balls over the years, and always my biggest supporter, as well as my mom. I did get a pleasant surprise today when my uncle Everett, who's my dad's oldest brother, who's 88, showed up and took Dad's place. So thank you, Everett. It's a big treat. I'd also like to thank all my teammates at BHS. I only competed in team sports, so any success that we have is really a product of teamwork and sacrifice and effort by my teammates. I'd also, in no particular order, kind of recognize them today. Many of them are here today. Doug Bamey, Kent Philippi, Jeff Craig, Tim Gopel, Jeff Gilley, and Terry West. Lastly, I would like to recognize my teammate Steve Seaman. Steve was a great three-sport athlete who passed away in his early 30s. I miss Steve dearly and wish he could be with us today. Without a doubt, the greatest gift I ever received from athletics were the relationships that have lasted a lifetime. In those days, we didn't start playing organized sports till junior high, so we really only played sports for 6 years. And yet some of my teammates, we've known each other for 50 years now. And we've been through birth of children, death of parents, divorces, heart attacks, cancer, and this year for the first time, retirement. So it's been a great journey. These men are like brothers to me, and I couldn't love them any more if they were my own flesh and blood. So thank you for sharing this with me today. I also want to say thank you to my coaches. I had an outstanding coach. You mentioned a few of them. Volley Roddy and Norm Ashworth, who are Hall of Fame members, and Jim Place, who's also a member of the Coaching Hall of Fame. Needless to say, I was the beneficiary of some great coaches for sports and role models for life. If you think some of the assistant coaches I had that I've met today as well, Mike Kunder, Ed Zink, Bevan Garwood, and former varsity coach Bob Widener as well. Thank you to all of those men. I wanted to say a little bit about Coach Volley Roddy, my varsity baseball coach. He led our team my junior year to a regional championship. Kind of gloss over that, but you realize we're one of 2 teams in the last 40 years to come out of the Dayton area to represent our area in the regional championship. That's how dominant Cincinnati has been. Both my junior and senior year, we lost to the eventual state champion that year. And I think with a little better draw, I think one of those 2 teams certainly could have been a state champion. I know that I was one of Coach Roddy's favorite players because he always referred to me in religious terms. He would say, "Jesus Christ, Cline, where were you throwing that ball?" Holy crap, what was that? And I think I was the first player that he coined the term, "Doug, you have $1 million glove and a 10-cent arm." Coach Roddy, I love playing for you, and we enjoyed just incredible success. So thank you so much. Also, just mentioned Coach Norm Ashworth. Coach Ashworth was as knowledgeable a basketball man as I've ever met, now and since, and it's just an honor to play for him. I introduced him to my son Dan this afternoon, who's about 6'6", and I told him, "Coach, you just missed a generation." But thank you, Coach Ashworth. It was indeed a pleasure to play for you, and I appreciate you being here today. Last and not least, I had the privilege of playing football my senior season, and only my senior season, for Coach Jim Place. Even though I only played a single season for Coach Place, he probably had the biggest impact on me. Coach Place has coached football for 47 seasons now, including this past season at Ponitz. Won a state championship at Chaminade Julienne and influenced the lives of thousands of young men. One of the things I've always been impressed with Coach Place is he's been that coach that would go coach in the inner city, the kids that didn't have male role models. Those were the programs that he gravitated to. And I'm just honored to call myself one of his former players. Coach Place was an incredible motivator. He coached with such enthusiasm and passion that you were willing to run through that proverbial brick wall for him. One of the things that Coach Place told us that always stuck with me was that you couldn't just measure a game or your performance in a game with a win or a loss, that you had to be able to go after that game and look in the mirror and say that I give 110% on every single play. And I admit to you, there wasn't a single game I could say I did 110% on every play, but I've passed that on to my children, and I use that in my business life to this very day. Coach Place, thank you for everything that you've done for me. I love you. I treasure our friendship. I so appreciate you being here today. I would like to close by thanking my wife, Elizabeth. She is my best friend and biggest supporter and has helped me raise 5 wonderful children. Thank you. You are the best thing that has ever happened to me. I would also like to thank my children, Dan, Stephanie, Sarah, Molly, and Joshua, for being here today. Thank you for your unconditional love and support. I am without a doubt the luckiest dad in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a day I'll never forget. I thank you for this incredible honor. I'm deeply humbled to be included with all the exceptional athletes in this Hall of Fame. Words cannot express how much this means to me and how much I appreciate this honor. Thank you, and God bless.